Good morning, pirates. Welcome to calendar week 44, would you believe it, of tomatoes and track saws. I don't know where I get these titles from. I just make them up on a whim. They, as you know, are usually not strongly related or correlated with the actual text. There we go. And the domestication of pigs. Moving the pigs between their winter and summer homes is a stressful thing for the pirate. It really shouldn't be. I've done it, 12 times now? And it hasn't actually been a problem for quite a while. I don't remember when they last used the opportunity to do a runner, but the expectation that they're about to, I still find incredibly draining. It's made a bit easier by preparing well. I finished clearing out the winter house a while ago. Then I mowed under where the fence is going to go. This year I've made it so I can move it easily later, giving them access to some nice fresh grass. At the moment it looks lovely, covered in greenery, but Tony will soon make a mess of that. What I really need is 3 areas for them, so that each one has an extra 6 months, so a full year, to recover and be properly replanted with grass seed. As it is, a decent amount of cover grows back in the 6 months they're away, but I don't think the roots get a strong enough grip on Mother Earth, and they can dig it all up in rather less than the 6 months that they're there for. At least in the winter, there's most likely going to be a foot of snow, and they stay inside for most of the time anyway. I moved them on Saturday and checked them on Sunday morning, and they appear to be having a bit of sibling discordance, and have decided to sleep each in a different corner. I'm sure they'll sort it out and share a communal bed and some body heat when it gets really cold. But they do have different preferences. For a long time now, Brunhilde has preferred to sleep close to the doorway, for example. I don't know if she's scared of the dark or spiders, or just likes to feel a breeze on her snout. I've always slept with the window open, so maybe she gets that from me. I'm not scared of spiders, though. I can't explain that one. Last week I fairly confidently said that I would continue the tour of the supplies cellar this week. Well, that's going to have to wait for another one. It has been spectacularly shitty weather for 7 days straight. It got properly cold, and the rain did stop for almost half an hour today, but only so that it could snow. Snow! Alright, so now we have all the corals of the world dead, mosquitoes in Iceland, and snow in October. I don't think we have to wait for the AMOC to turn off completely. I'm calling it. What this means for the barracks is that I really have to get the tomato house finished for next year. The toms have been devastated by the non-stop rain in the last 4 weeks, well over half of them rotting on the vine. Same for the sunflowers, and not a single sweet corn has ripened, but I won't be building them a house for next year. The project has stalled a little while I accumulate some readies to buy a track saw. I've honestly tried really hard to do what needs to be done with the table saw, but it is simply the wrong tool for the job. I wrote a tier list for tools for the garden once. Here it is. I think I'll do another one sometime soon for tools for the self-sufficient woodshop. Most people would put table saw in first place when offering advice to newbie woodshop creators, and it's hard to disagree with that when talking about general woodworking. But for the self-sufficient woodworker, basically taking trees and turning them into useful structures or anything, I think a track saw has to come first place. Table saws are awesome for ripping down long planks into the correct size when they have at least one straight edge. When they have no straight edges, the table saw is next to useless. A track saw is the laddie here. And there's not a whole lot you can do on a table saw that you can't do with a track saw. It might take a tiny amount more setup, but nothing that isn't massively offset by actually getting the job done. As regards next week, I am currently 100% cold and at least 49% miserable. I've moved back into the loft first night last night, and although it's a lot sillier to heat it up than one of the little rooms in the big house, I can at least heat it all day. Once it warms up, it mostly stays warm. The little room I was in could only be heated by a Calagas stove, and I just can't, and wouldn't want to anyway, spend that sort of money on burning fossil fuels. It's not what we're about here at all. I tried it for a couple of weeks, and it was kind of lovely, even if it did feel like a crappy hotel room, but it's just not going to work over the winter. The Make Your Own Biogas project will come sometime soon after the tomato house. Then the big house will be more livable. I don't have a problem burning my own homemade fuels. And if you can remember your ideal gas law from high school chemistry, you'll know that you really don't need a whole lot of solid matter to turn it into a heck of a lot of burnable gas. So this week, I will consider it a success if I feed the pigs twice a day, Bring all the wood I chopped last week into the loft. Clean and tidy the loft. It looks and feels a little bit Mary Rose abandoned at the minute. Shell the beans. I picked them dank and wet, so they're drying out a bit first. I can see a couple of evenings by the fire podding them. That doesn't sound too bad. Bring all of the rest of the wood for chopping into the wood store/fab. Eat better than I have been doing. I don't know why, but my diet has been a bit crappy of late. Improving that will also improve my mood, no doubt. And I'll have a fire to cook on all the time, so that's obviously a factor as well. Maybe rake up the rest of the leaves. It looks like it might be dry for a few days, and raking them wet is really no fun at all. Dig up some more carrots, and do the inventory, the one that I promised you. It's not a lot for a whole week, but it feels like stretch goals at the minute. Better get on with it, I guess. And until then, I wish you all the warmth and happiness, and with much parity love, bid you well. Your loving Pirate Ben. And thank you again to all of you for being here. Your comments, likes, and just the fact that you read this nonsense, it means a lot. Huge hugs to SB and KRND for taking out the paid subs. The tomato house and the gas plant get a little closer with your generosity. It takes us up to over 50 paid subs again. We lost a couple, but we're back on the up again. Bye bye. See you next time.